This is the Nation's Conspire channel. Welcome to today's show. Sheeple, sheeple on the wall. Who's the most clueless of them all? Well, it's starting to appear as if the conservatives are actually the most clueless ones. Because if you haven't heard, Donald Trump has appointed Dr. Oz to a key position in his new administration. He will be working very closely with RFK. And why is that important? Well, Dr. Oz will be involved with Medicaid and Medicare, but really just the medicine in general. So why am I calling all the conservatives clueless? Well, it's amazing how these people could just align themselves with the party, and all of a sudden, everybody forgets about the stuff they've said in the past. Everybody forgets about the deeds they've done in the past. Kind of like Donald Trump, how he was always a Democrat, and he was always aligned with Satanists like Oprah Winfrey. And then all of a sudden, he decides one day he's a conservative. So everybody with conservative values, instead of saying, you're not one of us, you don't believe in the King of Kings, Jesus Christ, you don't believe in the same values as us, because you've openly even talked about how you support people who go to Planned Parenthood. But all it takes for them is to hear them say, hey, I'm one of you. And they accept them into the flock because they're of the same hive mind as the Democrats. So Dr. Oz, the thing they have in common, of course, is they're pretending to be conservatives. They're both very close with Oprah Winfrey. And Donald Trump, if you don't remember, is the one responsible for Operation Warp Speed, you know, the beginning of the process of depopulating the United States of America. In fact, the entire earth, right? Donald Trump was the one who rolled out Operation Warp Speed, but conveniently these people refuse to remember that. In fact, when you bring it up to them, they just roll their eyes and tell you that he didn't know, he did his best, because they apparently like to be duped. So if you don't remember, I've covered Dr. Oz in the past on my channels, but I don't expect anyone out there to remember, because when you get wiped off the web, well, it's hard to have people actually find your content and remember your content. But Dr. Oz has openly been somebody who I've covered way before the outbreak, because Dr. Oz was trying to do the same thing before the outbreak that everybody, including Donald Trump, tried to do during the outbreak. And that was get something inside of your body. So before the outbreak occurred, I was calling Dr. Oz out, just like Bill Gates, just like all of these psychopaths who are trying to get you to go and get this thing for the flu put inside your body. That's right, this thing for the flu that they don't talk too much about anymore, because of course the flu and then the other thing are one in the same. You got a cough, you got a sniffle, they want you to go put stuff inside your body. And you may remember this clip I'm about to play for you, where Dr. Oz was talking about herd immunity on his show very early on, but he also was talking about how he is Dr. Oz on TV and during the day, but when he goes home at night, he's Father Oz. He's a dad and a husband. And well, while he's telling you on TV that you should go and you should go get your flu shot, he would never, ever, ever allow his wife or his children to get it. You know, he sounds like the kind of guy we could trust, right?
You are telling a mother who is trying to decide myself whether to get my kids vaccinated when the time comes. And I'm reading this, 51% of parents, only 51% are absolutely certain. I'll be honest, I'm in that 50% that isn't absolutely certain. So how do you convince me? How do you convince the other parents out there that we need to do this?
Careful, I'm going to get it.
Yes.
If that helps at all, but I'll tell you, my wife is not going to immunize our kids. Because I've got 4 of them, and when I go home, I'm not Dr. Oz, I'm Mr. Oz.
Look, you are telling a mother who is trying to decide myself whether to get my kids vaccinated when the time comes. And I'm reading this, 51% of parents, only 51% are absolutely certain. I'll be honest, I'm in that 50% that isn't absolutely certain. So how do you convince me? How do you convince the other parents out there that we need to do this?
Careful, I'm going to get it.
Yes.
If that helps at all, but I'll tell you, my wife is not going to immunize our kids. Because I've got 4 of them, and when I go home, I'm not Dr. Oz, I'm Mr. Oz.
10% of folks get the flu every year. You're rolling the dice, my friend.
I love gambling, dude.
It's not just about you, it's about herd immunity. You ever hear that? Herd immunity? Not the 70s anymore. This vaccine's a lot safer.
Look, I know the vaccine's safer, and I am informed, but I'm just lazy, okay? I'll get to it.
You should get it right now.
I said I'll get to it.
You know, a lot of people don't get the flu vaccine until their friends get sick, and it's too late. Hit me, hit me.
Look, you are telling a mother who is trying to decide myself whether to get my kids vaccinated when the time comes. And I'm reading this, 51% of parents, only 51% are absolutely certain. I'll be honest, I'm in that 50% that isn't absolutely certain. So how do you convince me? How do you convince the other parents out there that we need to do this?
Careful, I'm going to get it.
Yes.
If that helps at all, but I'll tell you, my wife is not going to immunize our kids. Because I've got 4 of them, and when I go home, I'm not Dr. Oz, I'm Mr. Oz.
So again, Dr. Oz telling you one thing and then doing another. Amazing then how they could say these things and flip-flop and nobody pays attention to it. Maybe because a lot of these videos have been scrubbed off of the internet. But for people out there that didn't know, Dr. Oz was trying to get you to go bring your kids to the doctor to make sure that you and your kids didn't get the flu. But he would never do that to his own kids. So his recommendation, I mean, imagine you went to the doctor's office and the doctor told you to get your 5-year-old to go and line up at Walgreens or CVS to get this put in his body. And then you asked him and he said, well, you did it to your kids? And he says, oh, absolutely not. I never would in a million years. Wouldn't you just go, oh, what? Well, of course, in today's world, nobody's thinking. There's nothing processing inside of their head. So they're not connecting the dots on situations like that. When a doctor, a television doctor, or their own doctor tells you to go do something to your kids but wouldn't do it to their own kids. So it makes perfect sense that Dr. Oz is now aligned with RFK and the Innovation RX, right? Because don't you see what they're about to do? They're about to tell you that they're cleaning up Big Pharma. They're about to tell you that we need to trust the medicine, but we obviously couldn't trust what happened last time, even though Donald Trump was the one who rolled all of it out. So now we're going to clean up the medicine industry, the pharma, Big Pharma. We're going to make things better. We're going to clean up what the chemicals are getting put in your food, even though people like RFK are posing eating McDonald's. I mean, it's laughable, right? It's laughable how these conservatives don't realize how they've been worked into this, and they can now turn a blind eye to all of these demons who are now pretending to be conservative. I mean, it's pretty funny. Elon Musk even tweeted out, retweeted, I should say, someone posting the Democrats won the election, a picture of Trump and Musk and RFK, and he said some deep truths here, right? I mean, the truth couldn't be more in your face that these people are all working together, and all it takes is for them to cross the picket line, so to speak, and pretend that they're working for the other political party to convince you to do what ultimately all of these globalists want, which is to get something inside of your body. Which brings me to my favorite Dr. Oz clip. You know, Dr. Oz, the conservative here, who is MAGA, who's conservative all of a sudden. Here's a clip from the Dr. Oz show. He talks about how neat and how cool a microchip implant is about 10 years ago. And of course, the microchip implant doesn't really look like what Dr. Oz is presenting here because it's so tiny now that you can't actually even see it with the visible eye. So it might look like a grain of rice back then, but now, guess what? It's so small that they can actually put it in stuff that, well, they can just automatically shoot into you.
The latest breakthroughs. Turns out one of the biggest discoveries is actually this tiny. See how small that is? This little chip may be the next big thing, and it sounds like it's right from a sci-fi movie, but people all over the world are implanting these into their wrists. So I asked my producer, Dean, to find out more about this cutting-edge technology and what it could mean for your health.
Whether it's our smartphones, our watches, our fitness trackers, or our Bluetooth headphones, it's clear that technology is not just part of our lives, it's running them. It's how we buy things, watch things, how we date, stay safe, even how we travel. Paul? Cool. We're so attracted to our devices that they're basically becoming a part of our bodies. But what if they really could become a part of our bodies? Well, guess what? They can. Meet the RFID microchip.
This tiny chip, which can be implanted into your wrist, yes, I did say wrist,
Uses short-range radio frequency identification, similar to the tech used to track your pets or your phone. Once implanted in your body, it could identify you as you pass through the airport, open the door to your home. It could even be used to buy groceries at the supermarket. Now, your driver's license, passport, keys, and wallet are all inside your body, contained in something the size of a grain of rice. I know it might sound like sci-fi, but it's not. 10,000 people have already been chipped, and the number is growing.
The possibilities are limitless, especially when it comes to your health. Imagine you're rushed to the hospital without any identification, but with just one scan of your chip, doctors know your name, date of birth, medical history, insurance, blood type, allergies, even the medication you're taking.
This chip in your wrist won't just change your life, one day it might just save it. And that's why this little RFID microchip is the next big thing.
So it's incredible, right? Dr. Oz, now a conservative, everybody's on board, all the conservatives and Christians support him because all he has to do is stand next to Donald Trump, and then they ignore all the things from his past, right? Telling you that you need to get this put in your kids, even though he wouldn't put it in his own kids. He's pushing the microchip, literally pushing the microchip on his television show, telling you how cool and neat it would be to be able to be followed and monitored by your government like a dog, right? They compare it to the microchipping of dogs. And of course, what else do we see with Dr. Oz? Well, Dr. Oz is a good friend and associate of Marina Abramovic. You know, the same Marina Abramovic, the witch. This is, by the way, not one photo of them together. They've been together countless times, Marina Abramovic and Dr. Oz, out in public, right? Taking photos, posing together. Marina Abramovic, if you don't know, the witch Marina Abramovic, who is best known for being a witch, who openly admits to being a witch, who's involved in spirit cooking and other things that you're not allowed to talk about anymore on the internet. You know, the same Marina Abramovic who's posed on magazine covers where we're supposed to see something like this and think it's artistic when it couldn't be more disturbing if you actually know what Marina Abramovic is involved in, right? Marina Abramovic having these big events that all these celebrities attend where they're literally performing cannibalistic rituals. We've seen Marilyn Manson even copy Marina Abramovic, right, with his little pose there. Where, I mean, this isn't satanic, folks. This is art, right? She just loves a decapitated goat head, right? And so does Marilyn Manson with his one eye symbolism. There's nothing to it. And there's nothing to it when Marina poses with Lord Rothschild in front of a painting called Summoning Satan, right? These are all coincidence. Same with Jay-Z and Marina Abramovic being associated with each other, or Lady Gaga and Marina Abramovic being associated with one another. And Marina Abramovic is close with all of the celebrities in Hollywood and all of the politicians and all of these prominent people in positions of power at corporations because Marina Abramovic is pretty much their go-to witch. And if you didn't hear recently, in the last couple of years, Marina Abramovic has been interviewed and been on shows countless times where Marina has talked about how Donald Trump is the magician of the highest order and the magician who's going to cause the mass awakening. But the mass awakening is not what these conservative Christians think it actually is. It's actually the bringing about of the Antichrist and this entire Antichrist movement that we're going to see in the name of love and compassion, of course, because order out of chaos is the name of the game. Here's Marina.
You know, I just want to share with you one really funny opinion. But there is in Lapland, there is a group of the shamans there who do something called collective dreaming. They will go together in seclusion and do the rituals with, eating very little food and being in a solitude for a long time. And they will go and dream the dreams. And the dream have to be collective, same dream. So coming out of this dream, once the shaman told me that actually the best thing happened in this planet right now is the Trump to be the president. I said, how is this possible? It's the best thing to happen. He said, yes, because he's so irrational, he's so crazy. That's actually create that awakening, that we finally wake up. Because before it will be another guy and everything looks similar. But he's so different than anything else. So he's the magician who waking us up. Trump is the best thing happened ever to us. That he is the magician of the highest order. That he is there in his irrational mind to create confusion in order that the human being can find new order. And it's not so stupid thinking about this in that way. It's completely turning things upside down.
So Marina, Trump, Dr. Oz, it all seems like a good thing, right? I mean, Dr. Oz can be trusted. RFK can be trusted. Remember when RFK talked about how anybody out there who questioned what was going on with the climate should be thrown in jail? So if you go up to somebody who is complaining about climate change and you explain to them actually about weather modification and geoengineering, you should be thrown in prison is pretty much what he's saying. So we could trust all these guys. I mean, it really is summed up best by the tweet by Elon Musk, where somebody says the Democrats did win the election, and he says there's some deep truths here, right? because all they are actors pretending to be conservatives, and all they've done is prevent a real revolution. And they are going to deceive and trick Christians into everything you could imagine. All of a sudden, all these Christians who are anti-potion will become pro-potion because they're going to get fed propaganda about how getting this in your body now is safe. It's been tested. It can be trusted. Everybody needs to get it. We can trust Trump. Trump greenlit it. Don't forget about Operation Warp Speed and how he was the one responsible for it in the first place. And we'll hear about how RFK, despite eating McDonald's, is now taking care of the CDC and the FDA, and he's making sure that food is actually healthy while he's literally eating human meat. Yeah, sure, they can be trusted. I mean, were you born yesterday? You got to have been born yesterday if you think that these people are on your side and these people are actually going to save the day. They're all connected to the same stuff. Dr. Oz telling you, hey, you need to go and get this, but I wouldn't give it to my own kids, and laughs about it as if like that's an insane notion. I'm on TV telling everybody out there to go and poison their kids, but I'd never poison my own. How dare you even ask me that? Dr. Oz telling everyone, hey, we should all get chips inside of our bodies so we can be tagged and monitored like dogs. Yeah, these are the types of people we need in Congress, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Of course he's aligned with Donald Trump because they're all aligned with each other. They're working you. And sooner or later, most of these conservative Christians are going to wake up and it's going to be too late. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you as always and your families.
She never reported me missing, and she never took me to do a police report. And as I'm calling, getting help from these lawyers, it's like nobody can help me. And like I need help with a lawyer. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I know that's me. Like I can provide pictures, not the picture that they have, because they have the original. The police had the original copy of that picture of me. You know what I'm saying? They had the original copy of that picture of me. I don't have no picture. I got pictures of how I looked at that time, you know, that like you could see my shoulder and I'm still got the same frame, but I don't have those pictures anymore. I remember he did what he did to me that summer, 2004, 2005. I didn't make it back home to 2006.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't even know I was gone that long. So I left in the 9th grade. I came back, everybody in the 11th grade. I'm still in the 9th grade.
Now you just to confirm, you were the one that had the D&G tank top on, correct?
Yes, I was. Dawn saw me in the studio. She saw me. I put her in the documents. She saw me. Everybody I named, they saw me. Cassie saw me. When Cassie was running, Cassie was mad because she had to watch him fuck me on some, and she ran off with that motherfucking money. And that's money in that duffel bag she was running with. My stomach looked like I just had a baby. It was black, and I still got the C-section on my stomach, and I had my child normal. I got records to prove I only got one child, but I was cut open at P. Diddy's house. The police, and she told Sarah, admitted at her mouth, I swear for God, I see that guy, he can strike me down. That lady admitted from her mouth, and she said, okay, I didn't have that baby. She had it. I don't want to get in trouble. Puffy started going crazy. The nigga opened up the bag. He was like, it's like $1 million. It was fun, but then they disappeared from me, and it was me by myself. And I remember being drugged the whole time, and I remember them drugging me so much, and they wanted me to feel the pain, and they had my hand over the stove. I remember waking up screaming. This was a fat white guy. He kind of hunchback, got a pointy nose. This fat white guy, he was just passing me to different white men, and to a point they all started looking the same. Being drugged the whole time, and I remember them drugging me so much, and they wanted me to feel the pain, and they had my hand over the stove. I remember waking up screaming. This was a fat white guy. He kind of hunchback, got a pointy nose. This fat white guy, he was just passing me to different white men, and to a point they all started looking the same to me. I'm trying to take my time, Lord.
Take your time. It's tough. I know it's tough, Mom. No, it's hard. Take some breaths.
Okay, it's just the memory that I think it's the memory. And it's like every time I think about it, it's like I relive it. And I'm there and I see it. My body can't move, but I'm there. And I don't know what days it was. I don't know the time, like, you know what I'm saying? I just know it was daylight, or I know if it was hot. I remember them having me in the summertime, and I remember being there in the cold. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was there, like, it was horrible. It was horrible. It was so horrible. I can't describe how horrible it was. After that happened, it's like it goes in and out. I remember trying to escape. I remember the brown children. I remember being locked in the cage with these brown kids. I don't know what race they were, but I know they looked at black, but they didn't speak English.
How many kids would you say was in there with you?
Had to be like 30 or 50 kids, but it kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller because they were hunting these babies. It got like, it was like until I noticed it, I was just in the cage. But before they like took me out the cage and put me back in the cage, they had me these babies with them. I remember him shooting his baby. The baby had to be no more than 5 or 6. This boy, he hunts me in my dream, and he is the age he probably would have been now, but he hunts me in my dreams. Like when I have out of body experience, and like it's like he's chasing me. I remember he shot that baby, and I was like, I'm not gonna stop him. And he pop, pick up the knife. So I picked up, and I was just going like this. And so the baby up had to be no more than 5 or 6, to be honest. He had me bathing them, feeding them, washing them off, and bathing them, feeding them. I remember me being in the cage. I kept letting them out the cage. I remember I kept opening the cage, letting them out, and like they used to have to get them and run after them, get them. I remember them being in there, and we was saying our names, and I was like Lamisha, and one said her name, and then she was talking in her language, and I didn't hear nothing, but she was like, fight. So every time we got out the cage, it was like we all, like when it was time to get ready, everybody having sex, that's when I started fighting back. I remember
I know it's hard. I know it's hard.
I remember they had a tray, and on the tray there was a knife, it was a corkscrew, it was a glass bottle, it was a candle, and it was a cigar on the tray. And I remember all of them had to stick it in me. And I will never forget how Bill Cosby lit the cigar and put it out on my vagina.
So Bill Cosby was one of the people there?
Yes. I never came forward to his case or whatever, but you know, he had Jane Doe's, but that opened up all the old stuff that he'd been doing, you know? But I never came forward in that. Because my grandmother never took me, she never reported me missing, and she never took me to do a police report. And as I'm calling, getting help from these lawyers, it's like nobody can help me. And like I need help with a lawyer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I know that's me. Like I can provide pictures, not the picture that they have, because they have the original. The police had the original copy of that picture of me. You know what I'm saying? They had the original copy of that picture of me. I don't have no picture. I got pictures of how I looked at that time, you know, that like you could see my shoulder and I'm still got the same frame, but I don't have those pictures anymore. I remember he did what he did to me, and then when it was time for Jennifer Lopez, she was there with a guy, and he was standing there looking disgusted, but didn't nobody save me. She stuck that glass in me, and after that, like, but my eyes were booked the whole time, and they put a blindfold on me. I remember them beating the fuck out of me. I remember them hog tying me. I remember them all being mad at me because I put snake venom in everybody's drinks and shit, because everybody acting like they couldn't remember. But when this witchy lady, she gave me, she was in a red room, and the room had mirrors everywhere, and it was a yellow snake in the damn sink. She gave me the venom, and whatever she gave me, it made me still be numb. But whatever she gave me, it made me coherent. Like I was coherent to everything, but I still couldn't move. You know what I'm saying? And I put it in everything. And I remember Kris Jenner being mad about it, and I stabbed her in her left side of her shoulder, like right here. This is where I stabbed her, right there. And no, it's not allegedly. It really happened. It really happened. And I hope by me going live and me telling some stuff that it don't help him get off. You know what I'm saying? Because they saying, like, I don't need to talk, but I don't have no lawyer. I don't have nobody to represent me. And if it was for the money, I would have been and took the money.
All right.
I would have been and took the money.
It's all right, sis. Speak your truth. Speak your truth.
He burned down this building to cover up all the evidence and some more people that was there. Yeah, that's the building he caught talking about, because he ended up doing some shit. He slipped, fell, hit his head, and I ended up pulling him out. I wanted to leave him in there, but the power of God told me to do it. And God told me to get him. And I wanted to let that nigga burn. I wanted to let that nigga die. I swear for God, I wanted to let him die. I can't tell you. I wanted to let him die. I cannot make this up. I cannot make this up. Yes, I was young, and yes, I pulled out a grown man out of a burning place. You hear me? And I jotted for the woods, and I was lost in the woods. I died in the woods. God brought me back to life, and I just told God, just please kill me. I don't want to get away. I'm hungry. I was in the woods. I don't know how long I was in the woods until I made it to the barbed wire fence and beat me up. I was already beat up because before I made it to the woods, they beat that damn deal inside of me. The deal, he made Roger Bonds go by. He told that man go buy that deal. They beat that deal inside of me, and I don't know. I went to the highway. I made it through the barbed wire fence, and I'm like, damn, I thought I was in the jungle, because they kept telling me, you're in the jungle. So I didn't know where the fuck I was at. I'm thinking I done ran away from Africa to America. That's what I'm thinking in my kid mind. You know what I'm saying? And this is how I wrote my police report. This is how the first police report is written. You know what I'm saying? And I get to the barbed wire fence. I almost get hit by cars because it's the barbed wire fence, and then it was the freeway. And I collapsed on these trash bags, and some white man, I think his name was Samson, he picked me up, and he drove me from Miami and took me back to New York. And when I came in there, I would beat the fuck up. And they was like, who did this to you? And they tried to get the white man. I said, he didn't do it for me. He didn't do that to me. He saved my life. And he didn't take me to the police station in Miami because I was telling him that it was like the sheriffs, the people worked for the Miami police place was doing that to me. And I was telling him, he told the police did this to me because the nigga was around police. He was around a lot of elite white people. I was like, the police did this to me. So he said that he drove me from Miami and he drove me to New York. And I remember them taking my statement. I remember I remember lying about my age on the first time I told them I was 17 because I was scared. I don't know. I lied. And I remember I wrote the first statement. I wrote it and I tried to cover up stuff. But then I told them I had to use the restroom. And they was like, no, you can't use the restroom. But before all this happened, they brought Mr. Williams in there because they was like, this is good. You're going to want to hear this. And he was like, who did this to you? And I was like, P. Diddy. And I named other people that I was around. And he was like, well, how old are you? Where your name? Where you from? I lied and I said I was Mexican. I used to say I was Mexican. I lied and stuff and said I was from Michigan. And like, I just made up a whole bunch of different stories. And I end up seizing out. And I told them I had to go to the restroom. They was like, no, you can't use no restroom until you finish writing. And I ended up writing everything out, which was the truth. And I ended up seizing out. And I remember them rushing me. I remember Mr. Williams was with me the whole time. I remember I was in pain, so my whole body hurt. So I didn't know the difference. They did operations to remove something out of me. I felt the same way I felt before they did the operation. I remember him showing me the video, and I'm like, that's not me. And it looked like they pulling the fucking intestines out of me. And it was that pink dildo all on it. And he was all, I was like, that's not, I was like, ew, what is that? I was horrified. And he was like, this is you. Who did this to you? And I went on and told him the truth, you know? Diddy did this. I remember them having to sew me up and reconstruct my stuff down there. I didn't go straight home. He said, I can't send her home like this. He waited till that my big eye went down, but I didn't make it back home until October, November. I started the 7th grade, the second semester, and I started with my dad. I lived with him my second semester of school. I lived with my dad. I remember Mr. Williams being there with me, and like, he not gonna testify or be on my behalf, but I said I would never came forward if I never saw him on TV. You hear me? Because he is my angel. He is my angel. And God knows. God knows that man is my angel. And I'm not trying to be on here looking crazy. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right. You're all right.
I won't be on here looking crazy and crying and shit, looking ugly in the face. On here crying.
You went through some traumatic stuff, so that's normal.
Yeah. Everybody telling me not to speak, but just let them reveal my face. And like I'm telling people around me, if I wanted the money, I would have been and took the money. Like, they've been paying me money and I've been living like I'm broke. See that way. We need God in this situation. We got in this situation, and I have to get justice. Like, if I won't sue nobody else, but we gotta get justice. I don't want to be talking and doing this interview and help him. I just need justice and I need help. They got my pictures out here. Who put my pictures out here?
So Misha, yeah, definitely that part. Let's talk about those photos that's all over the internet. So basically that's you on the table with the food on you and they're eating off of you.
Yes.
How old were you in those photos?
I was 13. I didn't turn 14 till the end of that year. I don't turn, like, my birthday is in December. So like right now I'm 33, but when January after December I'm gonna be 34. Like, I always turn the same age at the end of the year, and I don't know who has it. I don't know who. They got the video of me being when I was gone with the white men. They were doing weird shit to me, like they beating me. This woman flat out my hair, got me ready for this man named Joey, and they beating me. Got me strapped to a tree, and like I just feel like I'm being bullied because they putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? Who would glorify this? This is nothing to glorify. And it is like everybody that's coming forth and they doing interviews. Everybody that's doing interviews has something to do with me. Everybody that's doing interviews has something to do with me, and I'm just sitting back and I'm just watching people. Like, I don't watch TV, listen to music no more, because everybody that you listen to, it hurt me. You understand what I'm saying? And
so there were a lot of celebrities involved, and
even if he was telling them I was 17, I was still underage. The fake age that people told me to say, like, I'm still underage. And this man had my mind gone because I was being abused at home, and I was thinking, that this is how the world treats you. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking this is love. This you gotta do. You gotta do. He took my virginity. My mom was gone. I don't know. My mom was gone. My mom was gone.
Now, peeps, that was part one.
Kimora Lee Simmons.
Yeah.
I remember telling her like, it was like a ritual, whatever they did with me. I remember telling her she was mad at me too. I remember telling her like, you know, all the men had sex with me, but I remember telling Kim everything that happened to me, and she was happy that she never went with him because he was trying to get her to go with him.
So Kim and Kimora knew everything that you was going through, and that you were underage as well.
Because I told her, and she was all like, "Oh my God!" She started crying. It was too late. She was talking, and then it was just crazy because he squirted that oil in her mouth, and then she just kind of turned to a demon. Like he had control over her ass. And I remember when we did the three, she strapped me down, but she was anal leak, so that shit hurted, and he had his in my mouth, and they making out. Yeah, it happened. It wasn't allegedly. It happened. I was there when she was pregnant with them twins. She had a white headband on it. We both pregnant at the same time. She had a white headband on her head, cause she was fighting him and stuff. You know, he was telling her, cause he was having me in public, and she was the one to tell him, "You need to stop having her in public." And then that's when he started locking me in the tunnels and taking me to the Playboy Mansion or hide me at Bill Cosby house, but he'll move me through the tunnels, and the tunnels were in his room, and it was under the rug, but where his bed is on top of, but that's the entrance way to get in the tunnels. You know what I'm saying? I could describe the room I was in. I remember one of King Combs' friends coming to the house or whatever, and I remember him he thought it was a restroom, and then he came in there, and I was scared.
You just to confirm, you were the one that had the D&G tank top on, correct?
Yes, I was. Dawn saw me in the studio. She saw me. I put her in the documents. She saw me. Everybody I named, they saw me. Cassie saw me. When Cassie was running, Cassie was mad because she had to watch him fuck me on some, and she ran off with that motherfucking money, and that's money in that duffel bag she was running with.
You talking about in the hotel where she's getting beat?
Yeah, that's it's old. Like she got beat. Like they just now putting the stuff out, but that's money that he keep in that duffel bag. She was trying to run with that money. I gave birth when he got me pregnant the very first time. He was trying to hide it from Kim, and I remember she was mad, hurt. I don't think she ended up moving out or being mad or some shit. Something happened like that, and I remember he was mad at me, taking out on me, but he always had sex with me, but he never let me take baths. So everybody we have threesomes would be like, she stinks.
He also made you use the bathroom on yourself as well on stage, right?
Yeah, because we at the party.
He also made you use the bathroom on yourself as well on stage, right?
Yeah, because we at the party. I'm not sure which party, because all these parties, when I think about it, everything is a blur, and it's like I'm on the stage, I'm dancing, everything going fast. Like, have you ever seen a movie and everything spinning? Okay, well, I was with another guy. Aretha Franklin gave me and this other guy that wanted to come on as a ghostwriter for Diddy. He gave both of us. She gave both of us. We thinking it's BCP powder because the nigga done gave us tranquilizer and the champagne, in the stuff. So me and him, we drink the coke, and she looking at us like, I ain't never seen nobody drinking before. And we looking like we thinking it's BCP powder, but it was cocaine. So after we ate it like BCP powder, we had to shit instantly, and I couldn't find no restroom, and I was walking around. Every time I went in the restroom, it was like everybody's everywhere. I couldn't use it, so he found me, and I had to use it. I said, I gotta use the restroom. So I don't give a fuck about you. I have to use the restroom. Get on the stage, and he made me get on stage. I'm up there dancing and shit, and I could not hold it. It's not funny, but I was up there dancing, and I'm telling him I gotta use it. Please let me use it. And he's like, no, I'll keep dancing. So I on everybody. And I'm up there just static dancing, got my hands waving, everybody, I'm looking around, everybody looked at me disgusted. So I'm just still on the stage. He laughed. He put me in a room. before he pulled me in that room, beat my ass, told me I ruined his party. I always got my ass whooped for ruining his parties. So at that point, he didn't let me come to the parties. I just had to come to the after parties type shit. I remember Denzel saying that you ain't got no respect for nobody, but I think some shit hit him and his wife.
Man.
Like splurged on him. It sputtered on a lot of people, and everybody was looking at me like, this bitch stink. This bitch nasty. But nobody can help me.
That's deep right there.
Nobody helped me.
You also mentioned when you were on that table that somebody from New Edition was interacting with you as well. Who's
Yeah,
that?
Michael Bivins. Like, they was like, I don't know what they had doing, but he had them like worshiping my body, and I was on the table, and he was like, I was scared because I'm still thinking about the first time when they did that. You remember I told you about the champagne bottles? I'm glad that happened when I was young, and I remember J-Lo was at that party. She had a baby blue dress, and I was like, I don't want to be around her. I was scared. I'm scared of her. Like, I was scared of her from how she did me when I was younger, all the stuff that she did. And I'm not going to just say everything that the lady did to me, but all the stuff that she did to me, I was scared of her. So I told...
One of the things she did was with the broken bottle, right? That's...
Yeah. And he had me feeling like I was his girlfriend, so I would talk to her crazy. You know what I'm saying? Disrespect her. So when it came time for them, when rich people get together and they got money and they bored, they do some up shit. Like, they do real up shit. I remember seeing a white guy fucking a fish. It was just so much. That night, he was over me, and he was like saying something to whatever he was, and he was pouring the wax on me, and he was squeezing my nipples, like they were pinching my nipples, and I didn't move, but tears was rolling out my eyes. Like, it's a picture where my face is turned this way, and I know that I'm crying. They got a square on my face. I'm just yelling. I'm 13 in the picture. Like, I'm like, ee, on the picture. It's like that. I remember he snatched me off that table, put me in a dark room, and then I woke up again being anal, and it was like the whole party was fucking me. Like, when I come to, they looking at me like, when I look at certain celebrities, they looking at me like, oh, this eyes open. Like, I guess my eyes were closed, and then they end up putting a blindfold, so it was dark. But I saw a couple of celebrities, but before they put that blindfold on me, I looked over to Miss English, and I see her getting fucked, and she just laying there drooling like, I see her getting fucked.
So both of y'all was out of it while they were taking advantage.
Yeah, and
of
it was just us two.
You and Adria. You say English, you meet Adria. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to say her name wrong because I've been calling her mom name, Adria. That's what I've been calling, but it's Adrian. How you say it?
Yeah. Hers is Adria. I think her mom is Adrian.
Yeah, Adria. I've been seeing her. She told me I call her Cherie Riri, but she used to go by Sasha. But Adria, she's laying on the table, and I see her having Guinness, and like, it's the list when it's like 100 to 200 people. All the people had messed with us.
Wait a minute. So over 200 people slept with y'all in one night?
In one night. Yes, I was sore. Yes, I'm happy to have kids because they were sticking knives, and not that time, but other times. Like Allie Carter, she got me hip. She was telling me to make myself wet because it's like another part of the after party, to the after party where the people in there and they're dressed up in their awards, like gowns and stuff and suits. And if they don't want to have sex with the kids, they got to do something to the kids. So one person shitted on the floor. It's like, I don't have nothing to wipe my ass with. Nasty bitch shitted on the floor, and like they'd be like, lick it.
What?
Rub it on your body. One person squirted on the floor. They know who the fuck they is. One person squirted on the floor. I don't want to just bring out everybody motherfucking name, but all this is gonna come out. One person squirted on the floor. Then you have to lick it and you have to rub it on your body. And if they didn't want to do that, they get a stick, like a wooden stick, and it's like kind of round. At the, like, you know how the broom is, the wooden sticks that you get from the store, and either they beat you upside your head with it, or they stick it in your ass. And all this, it gave me a tilted. I had a normal cervix. All this stuff that happened to me in my life gave me a tilted cervix. Like my cervix tilted. Like, I'm happy I can still hold kids and have children. You know what I'm saying? But like people like Allie Carter, they fucked her up. She can't have kids.
So the people that was doing this to you, it was men and women, or just men? Men
and women and children. They had everybody. I remember Ray J was there. Ray J was there. Everybody that's coming out like, yeah, I was there. I seen stuff. Yeah. All y'all better tell the motherfucking truth. Like, people trying to save Diddy, and then they were saying 2012, everybody was coming to the club and like and talking to me, acting like they didn't know who the I was, and everybody know who the I was, you know?
The guy from that TV show, he was did he take part in that as well?
Which one?
The white guy? You ain't got to say his name, but he's a very famous white guy that was on a show from back in the day where one of the guys got arrested for something.
How he look?
He's married now, and his wife is an actress as well.
Yeah. He was there. He was there when the Brown babies kept getting out.
So he took part in all of that too.
Yeah, he was there. Hell yeah, he was there. He was there. Even they didn't off that other boy. They were trying to sick me on him. Aaron, the one that died. Yeah, he was there.
Now, you talked about as well Justin Bieber. Tell us a little bit about the Justin Bieber situation and what happened with that.
It goes in and out, but what I do remember is that he had a couple of the young celebrities ain't no fuck me. They all like ran a train on me or whatever. And then like the next day, I was like, they hurt me. Like I was telling him like they hurt me, and he was like, you want to hurt them back, don't you? And I was like, yeah, because P Diddy claimed I was the first person to strap him down, and he'd be like, harder. Like he wanted me to pal. Like it's like I can't. Pal drown.
You talking about, when you say strap, you mean like pegging?
Yeah, peg him. Yeah. So he put me on a thing, and like he made me peg him, and then like I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying? And he made me do it. Like, do it. Slapped me like, do it. So shit, I just went hard because it's either me or you, nigga. You did it to me yesterday. I guess you take it today. All that happened. He had him doing all type of stuff.
Justin Bieber did something to you, so he made you do something back to Justin.
Yes.
So they, was he like restrained down on the ground, or like how did that?
It was like a little circle autumn. I remember him laying like that on the autumn. It was like a circle autumn. It was on. It happened on.
Ottoman type of thing.
Yeah. He was on that, and Diddy's talking shit while he recording, and he was like, oh please stop, I'm sorry. He was yelling, I'm sorry. I remember that, and I didn't want to do it no more, but Diddy slapped me and was like, keep going until you nut. And he used to make me peg people until I squirted, and he was like, if you don't squirt, you keep going. I remember that it's not something, because like that's not something to glorify. It's not something that I want to remember. Like my dude, hopefully he don't leave me, because he never knew none of this stuff that's coming out. You know what I'm saying? And
but this is his first time hearing everything.
Yeah, and when I was like, oh my God, that's me on his lap, but he don't want to hear no stories. You know what I'm saying? He mad I'm doing this interview right now. He don't want to hear no stories.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure most guys don't, just regular guys, they don't want to hear So what made you decide to come forward and share your story?
When I saw Mr. Williams on TV saying, if you had anything to do with this, you got to come forward. But it's like, I've been trying to come forward, but I can't. I even called the FBI. I can't get nobody to take my case, because I've been drugged out my mind that I don't know the times and dates. The nigga never letting me know, so he did a good job with not letting me know what time it was or what day it was. You know what I'm saying? I can't regulate what day, what year. I just remember everything that happened to me. I remember the last year when I left, and it was because I didn't want to breastfeed that baby. And his mama came in there, his mama A9E, whatever you want to call her, she came up in there squeezing my breast like she used to do it like a cow. Like, I felt like they were milking me like a cow, and I slapped it over. And I remember her, oh, you done up. And she instructed a big ass person to escort me outside, put me outside that gate. So I was outside with all the other groupies that be coming on that damn bus. They be trying to get up in there to get some money. She had me outside. I remember I was outside for a couple of days because I think Diddy was on tour. He gone or something, but I was trying to get. I remember knocking on the neighbor's door, and they was like, "Stop knocking on my door!" Like, it's like nobody helped me in that situation. That was like a real traumatic time, and I really hated myself because I left behind my baby. Even if people would be like, "Well, that was a baby," and when I was taking that long walk, a homeless person gave me their sandals, like some thong sandals. A homeless person gave me some shoes.
Wow.
And I mean, I gotta see that way. That it just might break me down because I be dreaming about my baby. She was so beautiful when she was born, and I just dream about my baby. This the baby that haunts me in my sleep, and something was all like, you just gonna leave her? And I just felt so helpless. So when I got to the police, somebody picked me up and he told me to say Roger Bonds gave me everything, which was Gene. And I tried to reach out to Gene and I called him. He answered the phone, but he told me like I'm crazy, like he don't know who I am, or I never told him none of this stuff happened. But Gene gave me a whole bunch of paperwork with my pictures that I turned into the Vegas police. You know what I'm saying? They had the documents for Malcolm X. And they had all that shit. I told them I wasn't giving them nothing unless they called Mr. Williams from New York, the detective, to come get my stuff, because before he was that, he was something else, you know? Before he was a U.S. attorney, he was something else, but he was high ranking. But I told him I didn't want to give them nothing, and he was looking at me like, you went back? Like, bitch, you went back after they damn near killed you and we done removed the dick out your ass? And I was like, I just had to get proof. They was trying to send me back to Garland, and I was like, I'm not going back to Garland. Like, I was like, I want my baby. I'm in there steady yelling about a mother baby. So one of the police officers drove me back to Diddy's house. He had this Mohawk Diddy at the time. He had this big fur jacket on. And it had different. It was brown. It was black, but he had different prints in it. But I remember, like on this side, it was like a cheetah print. Like on like this part of him. Like I remember the cheetah print or whatever. And I remember him coming outside, and he was all like, I was all like, my baby in there, and the mama had the baby. I said, see, she has the baby. And then he was all like, ma'am, this child is saying that the baby is yours. And he's sitting up there, he going hysterical. He's yelling with his mama because she put me out or whatever. And the mama was all like, she not the mother, she's the mother. So she went in the house, and Sarah came out, and she was like scared, like, I'm the mother of that child. I said, she didn't have that baby. I just had a scar on my stomach. I said, I had that baby. Look at her stomach, it's flat. Look at my stomach. And then my stomach looked like I just had a baby. It was black. And I still got the C-section on my stomach, and I had my child normal. I got records to prove I only got one child, but I was cut open at P. Diddy's house. The police, and she told Sarah admitted at her mouth, I swear for God, I see that guy, he can strike me down. That lady admitted from her mouth, and she said, okay, I didn't have that baby. She had it. I don't want to get in trouble. Puppy started going crazy. The nigga opened up the bag. He was like, it's like $1 million, $500,000, baby. Here you go, man. He gave the man the money. And then he was like, just please come in, we can work this out. He was telling me to come back in, but I told the police I want my baby. He was like, you can have the baby, just come back in. So when he told me that I was about to come back in, But when I turned back to the police officer and said, "Are you gonna come check? Are you gonna come check on me tomorrow to make sure I'm alive? I'm okay?" The man said no, and P Diddy had this look on my face like, "Yeah, bitch, you know you done fucked up." So I said, "I'm not going in there." And then he was like, "Well, they was trying to both the police and him was trying to convince me type shit to go back in the house."
Because at that point, did they already
He already
paid off
paid the money to the police. He pulled out that bottle. At this time, it's in a glass bottle. He kept it in like a glass bottle. He pulled that out the bag like, "Man, she just want this. Give her this. This is what she want. This is what she really want."
What was in the bottle that he
He
gave?
said it's caffeine and ecstasy, liquid ecstasy. And he was all like, "It's against the law for you to be giving me this. Are you trying to bribe me? No, it's against the law." Like he was like using police tactics on the nigga. And he was like, "Come on, man, baby. Come on, man, baby. You killing me, man. You just took all the money I got. That's everything I got right there in that bag." Next thing I know, this damn police officer got me in the backseat, hot in the motherfucker. I'm inside the mental hospital. I think the person that helped me out was Roseanne, the lady that was on the Roseanne show. That's her name?
Yeah, Roseanne Barr.
Yes. I was in there saying I'm really a child. Well, and they just kept me on them. They call them cocktail shots.
She was a patient in the
mental hospital.
Oh, damn.
She was a patient in the mental hospital, and she said, "I'm going to help you. I'm going to get my lawyers to help you." And that's what helped me to get out. And they was like, "What's your name?" They kept shooting me up with that shit. So I'm like this, like slobbing with my mouth open. I'm slobbing with my mouth open the whole time. They take me to court, and like it'd be like the FBI, the real people, and then somebody else come in there and they shooting me with it. Like they could have killed me. You know what I'm saying? And I remember them arresting the lawyer that I was with or somebody, because I ended up saying my social security number. Like, "No, my social security number is this." And and I remember Mark, his lawyer he has now, the Mr. I don't know what do you do with $1,000 of I don't know what he doing with 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I don't know. Him, he came in and signed the paper to where the paper was fictional to where I seemed like I signed it to where I'm 17. And he had me sign the paper. He had me sign the paper saying that I couldn't talk about the baby. I couldn't talk about anything I experienced. And they put a spit bag on my head. They took me I got transferred to Garland Police Station. My grandmother had to pick me up from the police station. And I remember Mark shooting me with something in my neck. Like, he crooked. He will kill for that nigga. The nigga called me in 2012 telling me that he got my videos of me auditioning. He got them hoes put up in a safe. I was told not to come forward because I was going to get killed. I remember Roger Bonds calling me in 2012 telling me, your best bet is not to go out there because they are planning on killing you. So I never went to New York. And that judge lady, it was a female judge on the case at the time. She was calling me too. And like, it was to the point where they saying that the mob was going to look out for me. And it was the same guy that called Courtney called me and was like, "All the bank people are here and you can come live here." And he was like, "If they send you food, don't eat it." And I think I gave that box to the woman downstairs, and she ended up catching ammonia. She ended up catching a cold. Like, I didn't eat it. I was like, "I don't want that." The woman was like, "I'll take it." And she took that down. They sent me a box with stuff up in it. And I was like, I was like, hell no. But I think she ended up catching a cold. I think I got ammonia. So they like, you know what I'm saying? They were coming to the club. I remember Jaguar Wright and coming up to the club. I remember Homie G and all of them coming up to the club. And they was all like, "Did I snitch?" Basically, I'm a snitch. I got to stand up behind what the f*** I said. Everybody telling me to come testify. It was one. I remember one incident that happened to me. The group Jada Kiss. I don't know which men are. Jada Kiss. That's the rapper. But what was his group name?
The Locks.
Yeah, one of the guys in there, P. Diddy had me, because he used me as an escort. P. Diddy had me give him a champagne bottle, and P. Diddy had me strap him down. And I remember being jumped by them niggas. I remember them niggas jumping me with some girls. Beat the shit out of me. I never forget that ass whooping. I never forget that ass whooping.
Wait, so the locks jumped you? The rappers, the locks?
Yeah. Hit me like I'm a grown man. Beat the out my ass. I never forget that shit. I ain't gonna never forget it. I ain't gonna never forget it.
All right, you guys, make sure you guys stay tuned for part 3.
When I was there, like, it was horrible. It was horrible. It was so horrible. I can't describe how horrible it was. Everybody telling me not to speak would just let them reveal my face. And like I'm telling people around me, if I wanted the money, I would have been and took the money. Like, they been paying me money and I've been living like I'm broke. They got my pictures out here. Who put my pictures out here?
Now, peeps, I sat down for the most exclusive interview.
And he was telling me, asking me if I smoke, if I drink, and I told him no. And he was telling me basically I can't turn down anything that he offers me. I have to, if he offered it to me, I have to do it. I remember him giving me a tour of the place and him giving me the camera. I remember him like trying to make me feel comfortable, and he was like complimenting, saying, "Oh, she got a nice ass." I felt so uncomfortable. He was like, "Don't she got a nice body? Her ass is nice." I remember that. I remember him telling me to get the camera and to take pictures.
What did he have you taking pictures of, or
like
of yourself?
Studio, he took pictures of me, and like when I took a picture and I'm like in front of the thing, I'm taking pictures like this, and I took a picture of the bed. That was me. I just took a picture of the bed. He was like, "Go walk around." I put my phone on do not disturb. He was like, "Go walk around," and he told me to take pictures. And I remember taking pictures of the bed, like take pictures or whatever. And I remember taking a picture of the bedroom. I took a picture in the studio, and he was like recording me. And I also I'm just going in and out. I don't know, he offered me something else and I passed out. But then I remember being in that room with him, and he was all like being extra touchy with me. And I was like, yeah. I started feeling like he was a creep, but I was still like going along with it. And he was like, "What kind of you like?" Like, he was asking me about me being molested, and I was honest with him, and I told him about stuff, because he was like, the stuff that I was writing, I had to be like, they was asking me, have I ever been molested? Have I ever had sex? Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, knowing I was a virgin. I've been molested, but I never been penetrated.
Mm-hmm.
He asked me what kind of cocks I like. And Roger Bonds to go buy a pink dildo. And I remember waking up, looking in the mirror. I look in the mirror and I see P. Diddy behind me. And I know when I was in the room, he took my virginity on that bed. And I remember screaming and hurting.